Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session with the Rama docket. First case is cause number M333786, case is style, the state of Texas versus Irene Alicia Alamia. Ms. Alamia, would you please come forward? Okay, Ms. Alamia, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Alamia, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Alamia, you may put your hand down. Ms. Alamia, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Ms. Alamia, there's a document that's titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea and Proceeding to Trial. Now, Ms. Alamia, on the judge's explanation, there's a signature at the bottom. It's titled Defendant, and there are a set of initials on the line stating that you would like to waive your right to attorney and represent yourself.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Now, Ms. Alamia, I also have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Irene Alicia Alamia, on or about October 11, 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify fugitive from justice. Ms. Alamia, you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Alamia, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Now, Ms. Alamia, you also have a right to have a record of this proceeding. And what that basically means, you have a right to have a court reporter to dictate everything that's being said. You also have a right to waive or give up your right to have a record. Do you waive or give up your right to have a record? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, Ms. Alamia, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, also labeled as State's Exhibit 1. You recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials in 2 places. The first set of initials is on a line next to a box that says guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
The second set of initials is below a paragraph that is titled Discovery Admonishment, and it is next to a statement that reads as follows: I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery of the evidence in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty, no contest.
Yes, sir.
Do you did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next, and now, Ms. Alamia, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Alamia, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, State Life Office States 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Alamia, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State's Exhibit number 1 is the document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment.
Yes.
This is the same document that have your initials in 2 locations on page 2, and it has your signature on page 3. Now, Ms. Alamia, the state would like to use this document as evidence against you in this case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as
Yes, sir.
evidence in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Alamia, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
Ms. Alamia, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's 6 months of deferred probation with a $200 fine, and state is waiving community service.
What's the court cost? 352? Okay, Ms. Alameda, state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During this 6-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $200 for court costs. The court cost is $352. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a year analysis fee of $15 a month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. You don't have to pay a crime victim fee or nothing. Or now your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month, is $203 a month. Will you be able to pay the $203 each month? You will not be required to perform any community service. That will be waived by the state. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Ms. Alameda, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Ms. Alameda, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Alameda, you're gonna stand in front of the clerk once you finish following the clerk's directions. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Same here.
All right, thank you.
Right, give me just a second.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Thank you.
Two that you're going to sign and I'm going to take it. From you, give me this and seven. You're going to sign here, and you're going to sign here. That's it. And then your right hand in the box, please. And then right thumb again. And then this is the paperwork you're gonna bring to the probation office and then you report today, okay?
Today?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
And these are the hours you cannot enter because they're closed.
so.
She can go right now. Is she?
Yeah.
That's on here?
Yeah,
Yes.
11:45.
Where is it at?
It's the map right there. It tells you.
it's
where
about,
at.
what, 4 blocks from here?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just, yeah, there's a map on there.
yes, yes, there's a map on there for you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Next case is cause number 23CCCR 0834, case of style of state of Texas versus Quinshawn James Alpo. Mr. Alpo, would you please come forward? Mr. Alpo, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Alpo, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alpo, you may put your hand down. Mr. Alpo, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Sure.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials on the line stating you would like to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for purposes of enter guilty plea or proceed in the trial. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. Alpo, before you signed and initial these documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Alpo, I also have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Alpo, it alleges that you, Quinshawn James Alpo, on or about March 24 to 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Alpo, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Alpo, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Alpo, you also have a right to have a record. That is, you have a right to have a court reporter dictate everything that's being said in this proceeding. However, you also have a right to waive or give up your right to have a court reporter. Do you waive or give up your right to have a court reporter?
Yes, sir.
So you want a court reporter to dictate everything that's being said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just have a seat. We're gonna,
Oh, and I didn't understand that point.
okay, so do you want to waive your right to have a court reporter? That means give up your right to have, there won't be a court reporter in here. That's what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Alpo, I also have a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1.
Mhm.
Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, I'm gonna need that other one back. I need to put the,
I'm sending it to you right now because I just saw that.
okay. On page 2 of this document, there's a set of initials on a line, on 2 lines. First line that the initials on is on a line that is titled no contender, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
The second set of initials at the bottom of this document is on a line or below a paragraph that is titled Discovery Admonishment, and is on a line next to a statement that reads as follows. I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Alpo, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alpo, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Alpo, the state is offering State's Exhibit Number 1 to be used as evidence in this case against you. State's Exhibit Number 1 is the document that I showed you earlier This is the document that you acknowledge, that you recognize, and they have your signature on page 2 in these 2 locations.
Yes, sir.
And do your initials on page 2 of these locations, and your signature above the line inside of the defendant. The state would like to use this document as evidence against you in your case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case?
Yes.
No objection. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Alpo, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Alpo, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement for a plea of no contest is a plea to 90 days probate over 1 year, $400 fine, and 50 hours community service.
50,000 commissioner. Miss, okay, what is the court cost, Miss? 277. Mr. Alpo, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year.
Yes, sir.
During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $400 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a year analysis fee of $15 each month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $145 a month.
Yes,
Will
sir.
you be able to pay the $145 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 50 hours of community service, and you'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Alpo, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alpo, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Alpo, you're gonna stand in front of our court clerk, follow her direction. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Arellano,
You have two copies of that, and then you're gonna have it. So you'll sign it. And then you can write something. This is your.
where's the
Probation. They can open-
Was that
with the affidavit?
It's right here, sir,
Oh, okay.
but you'll need to. do
He didn't.
today.
Okay, so.
He just left it blank.
Oh, yeah. All right, so then I hear them. Everything.
Now, if it's zeros, just tell him mark a zero.
Okay.
Aquí voy a poner 4 horas por mes y todos los que paga. Porque no pusiste eso.
Okay. So I was just looking at there. Now he didn't have any children.
He does.
He does?
¿Tienes hijos, verdad? Yes.
Is that 18 years old or younger? At 18 years old or younger?
¿Tiene menos de 18 años? Sí, tiene 16.
Okay, he would have to list his children and their ages.
No, tiene que tener un número sí, y su año.
Mr. Arellano, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Good. Tell him he could put his hand up. Now, Mr. Arellano, I have before me a document that's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
And are these your initials on the line that state you like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
I also have another document, it's titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document? on page 2 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant signature. Is this your signature?
Yes.
Mr. Arellano, did Mr. Raji go over these documents with you in Spanish?
Yes.
Now, the judge's explanation is in English and the affidavit is in Spanish. Is that correct?
Yes.
And this Mr. Raji go over these both of these documents with you in Spanish.
Yes.
And did you understand everything that she went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Arellano, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you is Attorney Charlie Rojas. Mr. Rojas is going to be given information to contact you, and you will be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator is going to give you that information. Again, stand by the court coordinator and get his case reset. Thank you, Mr. Roger.
Yes, sir.
And this will conclude the calling. Well, do we have any bond forfeitures? The next case is cause number M331620, case of Silas State of Texas versus Hartman Joseph Shashawn. Hartman Joseph Shashawn was scheduled to be in court this morning for the court's arraignment docket at 9 a.m. And at or about 9 a.m., Hartman Shashawn's name was called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Hartman Shashawn did not answer. Hartman Shashawn has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 12:06 PM on today's date of November 14th, 2023. Ms. Bailey, would you please call the name of Hartman Shoshone at the courthouse door? Hartman Shoshone's name was just called again at the courthouse door. Hartman Shoshone did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Shoshone an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion? That motion will be granted. Hartman Shoshone's bond will be forfeited, and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest and cause number M331620. Next case is cause number M327800. Case is filed the state of Texas versus Byron Orlando DeLeon Norris. Mr. Byron Norris was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At or about 9 a.m., Byron Norris' name was called at the courthouse door. Byron Norris did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Norris an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. And the time now is 12:07 p.m. on today's date. Ms. Bailey, would you please call the name of Byron Norris at the courthouse door?
Byron Orlando DeLeon Norris. Byron Orlando DeLeon Norris. A response, Your Honor.
Okay, Byron Orlando DeLeon Norris was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. He did not appear. He has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The bailiff has just called his name again at the courthouse door. He did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Norris an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Statements for bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Byron Orlando DeLeon Norris bond will be forfeited and cause number M327800. And a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. Next case is cause number M323160. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Kyrie Jaquoy Williams. Kyrie Jaquoy Williams was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's arraignment docket. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Kyrie Jaquoy Williams at the courthouse door. Kyrie Jaquoy Williams did not answer. And Kyrie Jaquoy Williams has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 12:09 p.m. on today's date. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Kyrie Jaquoy Williams?
Kyrie Jaquoy Williams. Kyrie Jaquoy Williams. No response, Your Honor.
Kyrie Jaquoy Williams' name was just called again at the courthouse door. Kyrie Jaquoy Williams did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Williams the opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Statements for bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Kyrie Jaquoy Williams' bond will be forfeited and warrant should be issued for his arrest. And cause number M323160. And this will conclude the calling of the court's arraignment docket on today. Yes.
On Hartman Shoshone, I'm showing he was these 6 years in this morning, they took him to jail.
Oh, yeah, he said it was a felony.
Yes, so he had a felony, no, it's not a fault. I just put him on the docket for Thursday,
Okay, so.
Shoshone. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that was the first one we called. Okay, so Shoshone is not a bond forfeiture. You had that? Okay. And this will conclude the calling of the court's arraignment docket on today's date, November 14th, 2023, in County Court at Law Number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Everyone